Good morning. Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 256, and we are in a Panera. Well, we're not quite in the parking lot. I guess we're in the outdoor seating. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting this morning. I am up here because, I help my friend take her son to school one day a week. So, and it's a far enough drive that I can't make it back to my office while he's there. So I try to find a way to stay productive at Panera. And we have to do the podcast a little late and all that jazz. So if you're joining me live, please say hello and we can chat about anything you want. You can ask me questions. You can tell me what you're working on. And I brought a gigantic tub this morning of projects from 80 Handmade Gifts, my brand new book. Hi Stacy, Lisa has looked at the book already and she loves it. Wonderful. I've gotten so many amazing emails overnight from people who have had a chance to look at the ebook and love it. So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing for me to see on the first day of release. So if you pre-order the book directly from my website, I send you an ebook for free. Otherwise, if you want to just purchase the ebook, you can order it on Ravelry. And if you want to wait for the print book to be available on Amazon, it will be available very soon. We are right next to a parking lot and a highway. DJ's already working on a cowl from the book. Lisa loves stuff from the book too. Good morning, Edna. Lisa's working on a shawl from the book, I think. So I brought, wait till you see all the stuff I brought this morning. We probably won't even have time to get to all of it. Good morning, Dina. Lisa loves the cowls too. Look at this. This bin is full of projects from 80 Handmade Gifts. It'll be interesting to see if I actually brought all 80 things. I don't know. Oh no, of course I didn't. I didn't bring the food. Judy loves the book so far. Wonderful. So glad you're enjoying it. Kimberly's going to try the chai spice today. Ooh, that's fun. Remember, you can adjust the seasonings for your taste, especially with the black pepper. Black pepper is what makes chai spicy. So, if you like things spicy or not spicy, you'll want to adjust the pepper accordingly for yourself. All right, does anybody have any questions before I get started? Oh, I had something funny to show you too. I grabbed this to show you. See the color that I used on Motif Magic cover? Look how much it reminds me so much of the color that I used for the design of 80 Handmade Gifts. Apparently Beet Red is my favorite color for cover design so far and matches my nails and my lipstick. So here are so I just wanted to show you side by side. So in the last year, I have independently published 2 books so far. This one, for those of you who aren't familiar with Motif Magic, is 17 motif projects that you can join as you go in knitting or crochet. And they are mostly shawls in this book, but a few other types of projects. Good morning, Karen. Understandable. And so now my next book is 80 Handmade Gifts, divided into 4 chapters of super easy, beginner, quick projects that can be done with food, recipes, knitting, crochet, sewing, or paper crafts, and a few other things as well. But that was really cool to show you the 2 books. So now I am a legit independent publisher because it's not just one book. I feel like when you do something once, it can be a one-off, but once you do something more than once, then it's legit. So I can add publisher to the hats that I wear on my head. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Happy to be able to call myself a publisher now too. Thank you, Lisa. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for any of the names I missed. You know I appreciate you all, and I'm glad that you're here. Thank you, Regina. Hi, Dee. Okay, So a couple of the really unusual projects from the book that I have mysteriously and vaguely talked about over the last couple of months are, if I had a drum roll, I'd do a drum roll right now, are the bowls. And these, I think, are one of the most spectacular things I've come up with in my brain of all time. So I found a product on Amazon, and you'll find it referenced not only in 80 Handmade Gifts in all three of the project pages, but you'll also find it in my Amazon shop in the craft folder. And when I finish the pages on my website showing all the resources for every project in the book, you'll see the product again. But there is this epoxy style plastic hardening solution that turns yarn hard. Can you hear that? Can you hear how hard that is? How amazing is that? And you know how we talk about, so first of all, a gift, filling this with anything would make an amazing gift. We're using it for yourself, for a home dec project, gorgeous. You could keep them in whatever color yarn you made them in. You could paint them with metallic spray paint. You could buy gold leaf paint and just do the edge. How gorgeous would that be? It would look so expensive. And here's the other thing. As far, and I'm always thinking and not worried about, because worry is a negative connotation. I'm always thinking about helping other people and empowering other people. So those of you that like to make things for craft fairs and make things to sell, I'm always trying to think of ways for you to sell things that are different than other craft people are selling, so that you're changing, you're not competing directly with your competition. Yes, you have competition, other crafters at the fair, but anytime you can make your things look a little different or a little more high-end, you've got an edge over the competition. So imagine who else is going to have hard lace bowls at a craft fair, right? So I think you could get a good dollar amount for them, and I think that you could get sales from it. So that was my thought for crafters. As far as gifts, who couldn't use something like this? It would be great on a coffee table, on a dinner table, at the, what do you call it, in the foyer when you walk in the door, anywhere. You can put these in the bathroom, anywhere. So anyway, here's one of the crochet, this is the crochet one, and it's done in motifs. Don't know if you can see the motif so much. Here, there's the motif. And so it's motifs that you join as you go, and then a solid crochet around the top. And the other thing is you could use something that, a construction of a hat. So you could do this with any hat pattern that you already have. So you could, what you're gonna wanna do is make any size hat. Either one of these could have been hats before I turned them into bowls. These are both the knit ones. This is in lace, because I wanted to do lace like I did with the crochet one, both in Be So Fine yarn. This is Lilac Memories, and this is Chantilly lace. Again, isn't that amazing? They're hard. And then this one I did in Be So Tender yarn in a textured stitch. And the reason I wanted to do that is because it looks just incredible in the texture. What a great way to feature knitting. I just love it. It reminds me of some of the, you've seen maybe, I can't remember if it's at Starbucks or maybe at Pottery Barn or one of those stores where they show you ceramics that have the texture of knitting and crochet. Well, you don't need to do that now. Now you can make your own. I hope you guys can hear how hard that is. Anyway, so that's one of the good morning. That's one of the first projects one of the first categories of projects I've been so excited to share with all of you. And I can't wait to see how you guys make these. What about adding beads to this? Yeah, smooth on smooth cast liquid plastic is exactly what it's called, and you can find it in my Amazon shop. You can find it listed in the products in the book, and I will also have links to it when I finish the product pages with resources on my website. But if you want to find it right now, just go look in my Amazon shop. You'll find it amazon.com/shop/Kristin Omdahl in the craft folder. I'll probably make a folder for 80 handmade gifts because there's so many resources that I found there too. Yeah, white glue and water works, but it's nowhere near as stiff as this is. It's a little difficult to work with, Judy, because it works so quickly and it works so unforgivingly. It's like epoxy. If you've worked with epoxy before, you have two solutions, you mix them together, and you have to work quickly once you mix them together because they will harden. And so then you want to saturate it, squeeze out as much of the excess as possible, put it on a form, and it will get really hot as it dries, and then you pop it off after it's dried. So not difficult to do, doesn't take a long time to do, but you do have to work quickly and have your mission in mind as you're going. No, I soaked it in a disposable cup. I wore disposable gloves, used less than 5 minutes to dry. It was a spectacular process. It'll be a really fun project to do in a live tutorial because you'll get to watch how quickly it dries. And it's difficult to pop off of your form, but again, it's all part of the process and it gets done and it's amazing. Okay, so we'll move on to other projects from the book. Hopefully I brought all the bags with me. These are super cute too. Let's grab So one thing that I think people ask about a lot when it comes to gifts is how to make decorations for mason jars. And when I thought about making mason jar covers, I thought in terms of making baby hats because it's not quite the same diameter for the top, but pretty close. So I was inspired by ideas for baby hats when I made my jar covers because I wanted them to have a 3D flower element on the top so that it was more decoration than just the cover. So you'll see that they are quite similar. I have a knit and crochet mason jar cover, and each one of them has a 3-dimensional flower on top. This is the knit one, and this is the crochet one, and I specifically did them in a light colored yarn because I thought it was a really great way to add the element of decorating whatever's in the jars with your ribbon. And so each one has an eyelet round for weaving in a ribbon so that you can cinch the topper as tightly as you want on your mason jar. And I'll take it off so you can see what I mean. We undo it. See, it comes right off. You put it back on and you cinch it back on. And I think they're just a little bit different than other mason jar toppers that I've seen before. Does anybody have any questions about either of these? Each one of these uses Be So Tender yarn, and the color shown is Cloud. And I'll wait and see if there's any questions about either of those before I move on. Thank you, Edna. Thanks, Melissa. I think they're cute too. They would be great for putting food in the mason jars, but also imagine if you were decorating a baby room and doing a baby shower gift. You could fill these with different components that you would need in a baby room, like maybe cotton balls or other things like that. Yeah, Beatrice, this is definitely better than the more traditional hardeners that I've used before. I agree. Yes, this would be so cool to hold this would be seashells and potpourri for gifts. Yes, you don't have to always fill these with food. It could be any sort of a thematic gift. Or if you wanted to put practical things for a bathroom in here, that would be cute too, or a baby room. Definitely good for storing pickles. Yes, you could definitely decorate food. You could definitely decorate food gifts this way. Definitely. But I think that you could do it for more than just food is all I'm suggesting. This is a fun project from the book. This is from the paper craft section, and I show you how to make these woven baskets using strips of paper. I used craft paper, but you could also reuse paper grocery bags. I think what I would like to do for another gift is use decorative, what do you call it? Wrapping paper. I saw some glitter wrapping paper at the store that I thought would be gorgeous. It'd be great if you took 2 different prints of wrapping paper so that you would alternate every other strip. And so these strips are woven together and then just tucked inside and glued. So you'll need paper, scissors, and a glue stick to make these. And you can make them in any size, any height. You could make these wider on the bottom. You could make them rectangular, you could make them square, you could make them big, you could make them little, you can make them short, you can make them tall. Just so many different ways you could make them. And I think to do it in glittery wrapping paper or some other type of decorative paper would be gorgeous, but I think craft paper has its own look and is beautiful too. You could also take any kind of ribbon. You know the ribbon you can buy in the store that looks like lace edging? I think that would be really beautiful to put along the edge here. Oh, Lisa, I'm not sure what you said. I couldn't tell what it said before strawberries. If you were going to put something moist in here, you would need to line them. This is just craft paper, so it would pick up moisture. But super cute. And I think it'd be just an adorable way to present another gift. If you used fancier paper, it could be a gift in itself. Oh, fake strawberries. Yes, you could definitely put some sort of decorative thing in these so it looks like a basket of produce on the counter. That would be adorable. Or lemons. And you could even make it shorter so that you could see more coming out of it. That would be really cute. Really cute. Speaking of boxes, this one is super cute too. This is an origami box from the book, and it's done in one piece of square paper that is just folded in a handful of ways, and I have a schematic with color coding the steps of where the folds are. And once you fold it and then fold it in and out a little bit, you put some hole punches in there for the ribbon, and the whole thing cinches together. How gorgeous is this to present any kind of a gift inside? And so what I did is took different paper punches to decorate the outside with my ribbon to match the ribbon, but you could draw on here, you could do a print paper, you could do some stamping on here, and I also put some arrows on the schematic to show you which of these sides is exposed and which direction is up. So when you're looking at your flat square paper, you'll know where to put your decorations if you're going to do them first. Like to glue these on here is super easy to do at the end. But if you're stamping or doing some other more handwork decoration, you're going to want to know where to place it. So on the schematic, I show you where all of these particular triangles are, and I point with an arrow up so you know where they're at. What kind of paper is that? It is a cardstock that comes square, and I have links in my Amazon shop for where you can find it. You can also find it at Michael's or different craft stores, anywhere that does scrapbooking. If you can't find cardstock in square form, you would just need to cut your paper into a square piece of paper. Oh, I was going to open it. So I wanted to show you that once it's open, it actually looks like a bowl. And you'll get to see the square shape a lot better too. See? So once you open it, it turns into, it could be like a bowl. And then once you want to, so you'd put your gift in there and then cinch it back shut. And tie it in a bow. So yes, your girls could definitely do this, Lisa. This would be a really fun project to do with kids. And it's just so magical the way a square, flat piece of paper can come together and make such a beautiful shape that I think kids would absolutely love watching the magic of that. Here's another project from the book. I did 4 different designs in the crochet chapter on different ways to decorate bubble vases to make candle holders. I have given these as gifts so many times over the years. So in this particular pattern, there are 4 different stitch patterns to do the vase, and then each pattern has 3 sizes listed because you can buy these vases in multiple sizes. This is the medium size. And so in different ways and then you put this is a regular votive, but you would want to use the flameless battery operated ones in here to make it safe. But think about all the different ways you could do this as a gift. One time I used all Be So Fine Chantilly lace color, and I did all 4 of the prints in various sizes but kept them all white. I did that as a gift once. I've used all 4 different colors of yarn but kept them all the same size and the 4 different prints. And I've also done, what else have I done? Taking one stitch pattern and doing it in the multiple sizes in different colors. So depending on how you mix and match the prints, how you mix and match the sizes, and how you mix and match the colors. Yes, Dina, bling yarn would be gorgeous for this because you'd pick up that shimmer with the candle too. That would be gorgeous. So depending on how you mix and match colors, sizes of vases, and stitch patterns, you could actually do a gazillion different gifts this way. Imagine if you were doing the centerpieces for a big party or a wedding. How gorgeous would it be to have crochet involved in the centerpieces? So pretty. And you could pick up on the colors of the wedding, or you could just go with Chantilly lace for the white bridal part of the wedding. But yeah, and in blings, you could do that in Be So Fine bling also, or Chantilly lace bling. If you wanted to go with the white part of the wedding theme, you could still do bling too. So lots and lots of ways to do that as well. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, here's another one of the paper crafts. This is another box. Is it stiffened? No, it's not stiffened. It's tightened at the rim, and that's explained in the pattern. Here's another one of the boxes that's done in a plain piece of paper. It's very similar to the shape you would see a gift card box, but it's a little bit larger because I thought it'd be a great way to put handmade jewelry or a special note or any kind of thing like that. And you could decorate this in 100 different ways, with stamps, with stickers, with artwork, with decorative papers, print papers, or by punching out different shapes on a contrasting color and gluing it on there. Yeah, someone has another. Yeah, you could put eyeglasses in here too. In fact, I have my sunglasses, so I could, let's see. You might want to make it a little bit bigger for, yep, not quite my sunglasses, but you could probably scale it a little bit bigger and make sunglasses too. Here's another of the boxes. I did 3 paper boxes, and this one almost looks like a ring box, but what I did is curled the edges that are the tabs and made a heart at the top. How cute are those hearts? Now, what a fun way to throw in a piece of candy into someone's backpack or travel bag, or a little note, or maybe a handmade gift, or anything. You could put jewelry in there. It could be anything. But what a sweet, quick, and decorative way to say I love you with a little heart-topped paper box. Again, really fun stuff to do with kids too. Hopefully I have both. Oh yeah, I've got both these. So we did do 2 projects that are, yeah, you could find bubble vases at the dollar store. I'm pretty sure I've seen them there before too. I did post a link in my Amazon shop to bubble vases there, but I've seen them at Hobby Lobby, I've seen them at Michael's, I've seen them at the dollar store. You can find them in a number of places. So I did crochet on edging for 2 projects in the book too, or crochet and knit on edging. This one is crocheted edging on this bandana, and this one is knit edging. And I did it on plain old bandanas for a couple of reasons. First of all, if you're not into sewing and you're not into buying fabric, this happens to be a piece of fabric that already has a seam on it, so it makes it just a little bit more user-friendly for people that aren't into fabric crafts. And it's a very fine fabric, so it's very easy to pierce the fabric with a crochet hook, so you're not having to sew a stitch on first before doing your work. So I think that you could use this for a bunch of different ways. It's one way is it's decorative for just making it a head wrap, using it any way you normally use a bandana, but just with some decoration on it. And you could pick a color yarn that matches the bandana or matches the fabric that you choose to use. Another thing I think is beautiful is to wrap up baked goods in this for a basket, for a picnic basket or a gift. Or you could just wrap up store-bought things. What if you wrapped up a really nice baguette from your favorite bakery and some cheese and wrapped all that up in here? You could wrap a bottle of wine in this. I mean, there's lots of ways that you could wrap up something store-bought and make it fancier with the lace edging on it. Good morning, Mar. And so I did one each for knitters and crocheters. A liner for a food basket gift, absolutely. That would be so pretty, Grace. So pretty. I love the edging on it. So I did both of them in white to coordinate with the white details on the red bandana, but you could do this on any fabric. You could do it on something other than a bandana, a different size. Yeah, the crackers, any of the food recipes would be gorgeous wrapped up in a bandana, especially a bandana with lace trim on it. What a beautiful gift. Yeah, multiple versions of handmade gifts working together. That would be awesome. Okay, what's next? Let's do some of the sewing projects. This was a neat find. When I was doing some of the sewing pouches, so this is a very simple pouch that is stiffened with and has two different fabrics in it, and I found this fusible Velcro that doesn't need to be sewn on. It's heat fusible. So you cut the piece to size, tear off the backing, put it on wherever you need it to be, and put an iron on it, and it holds itself down. Look at this. That's not sewn on at all. So the rest of it's done on my sewing machine, and I thought this was adorable for keeping jewelry in a suitcase, or keeping something special in your purse, or even in your sewing bag, or in your knitting and crochet bag. Thank you, Chris. Glad to see you today. I mean, there's 100 different ways. You could put snacks in this for someone's backpack. I mean, you could put anything in it. And I just love how it looks like an envelope, but it actually has a lot of room in there for adding anything. And it's Velcro. I just love that. So then I made a couple of, there's only one pattern, but I made a couple of samples of it, of a zipper pouch. And this is a super simple zipper pouch. Photos. Yes, that would be wonderful. You could put special photos in here as a gift. Even a photo in a little frame would go in there. And because it's lined and has interfacing on both pieces, this is actually very tough and very padded. So I think it would be very safe to put something delicate in there. That is a great idea. Love this brainstorming, everyone. Awesome. Okay, so the zipper pouches are the simple kind. It's not flat bottom, it is just a simple flat, because I wanted to start simple. In future projects, we can talk about adding to it. But these are just simple flat zipper pouches. So if you're learning how to add a zipper, that's the only thing you're adding to this. Love putting contrast fabric inside so that the color really pops when you open the zipper. Isn't that cool? I just love that contrast.
And today she was showing, she sent me a
And
video.
these could go in your project bag, in your knitting bag. You could wrap up a ball of yarn. That's how I showed it in the photos, I think. I think I put a ball of yarn in one of these. Imagine surprising someone with a hank of yarn. What a cute way to surprise someone with a hank of yarn. And you could match the fabrics to the yarn even. But seriously, you could use this for 100 different ways.
Well, it was like 160, yeah.
And then here is one, you know how we're sometimes worried about what to give somebody who we don't know what to give them a gift? And I always like hooks and notions in your bag. Yes, Auntie Vernon, that's another great idea. Sometimes one of the hardest people to buy gifts for is this person that you think doesn't need anything, or someone that travels a lot and they get to go anywhere. Well, I thought, what a useful gift to give someone an organizer for their cords when they're traveling. So this is a roll case. So it rolls up like a jelly roll, like this. Okay, so you're going to roll it up and tie it when it's full, and I put Be So Tender yarn on there with a tassel to make it decorative. But what I want to show you inside is we have a pocket down here with that same fusible Velcro, so you could put like the brick from your phone charger in there, or a small camera, or other things like that. But in these stretchy elastic bands, you could send your cords back and forth through there. And in the photo in the book, I showed you how to put your computer cord and your different phone cords and all that different stuff in there. And it's a great way to keep everything organized without getting tangled. Headphones can go in there. And then once you have everything organized, you roll the whole thing up and toss it in your bag. Now it's great for a traveler or anybody that's always on the go and brings stuff with them. So somebody that's at college, this would be good for too. And you could make it in the fabrics that they love. All the fabrics that I used in this particular book are either from my Spoonflower shop or bandanas. So that's the cord keeper. And then here's another jelly roll style. This one has little pockets in it. Hopefully you can see them. I'll show you with my finger in case the stitches don't come up. So this one would be great for crochet hooks or double pointed knitting needles. Yeah, you could put curling irons in that bigger one, absolutely. You could give this one to someone for makeup brushes or markers or colored pencils. So this would be good for an artist, a knitter or a crocheter, or a makeup artist. And once you get everything into those little pockets, maybe you could see the seams. Yeah, crochet hooks would be fantastic in here, especially if you want to buy one of those super affordable sets on Amazon that we talk about and then make them look fancier for the gift. You would make this and then tie it together. I used Be So Fine yarn for the ties, and I added a tassel at the bottom. In the 80 Handmade Gifts book, I also tell you how to add those chains and how to add the how to make and add the tassels too.
No, I understand. I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm the same way. So, like,
here is a basket bin that I made for the book, and this is done in 2 different colors of bandana. You could do this in any fabrics as well, but it was another opportunity to make something, to teach how to make something for someone who maybe wants to be introduced to fabric but is a little intimidated by cutting and things. So I thought, buying fabric already ready to go, bandanas, I wanted to make a project that used pre-cut fabric like that. So this is a basket that you could obviously fill for a gift, or you could give a set of these to someone who loves organizing. Imagine putting these on a shelf somewhere if you had the colors coordinating that shelf or that room. So a baby shower, somebody who loves organizing closets, or there's just so many applications for giving someone a basket, just to give them the baskets, or one or more baskets, let alone filling it with stuff. You could fill this with yarn. Imagine if you were giving someone a basket filled with yarn, or any kind of a gift. But I think thinking about organizing would be really fun too, especially you could play around so much with the colors. Picking fabrics and prints that you love or that mean something to the person you're giving them to, or just by picking 2 different colors of bandanas. The organizing your yarn in your craft room and picking colors, or the gift recipient that you're making it for, making them baskets for organizing their yarn. Nowadays you can find so many different colors of bandanas everywhere. How does the basket keep it shaped? It is not only lined, but it's fusible interfacing in all of the layers. So there are multiple layers of fabric and multiple layers of interfacing in this so that it keeps its shape. So cute. And it is the size roughly of a shoebox, so it would even be applicable to people who like to organize shoes. All right.
Yeah, it's good for you because like that, you work your ass off to have something good and then all of a sudden it breaks again and you just finish taking it out. So it's better like that you make sure that everything is good.
So, you know,
That's good.
they're trying to do things the smart way.
All right, let's see what I can find down here. Oh, goody, I found more. Got a bunch of things in here still. I've got the washcloths down there too. Washcloths, I think, are going to be a great way to combine handmade with store-bought in so many different ways too. Here are the nesting baskets that we made for knitting. And you see all 3 of them fit together nicely. Here's the small one with a slip stitch mosaic pattern, the medium one with garter stitch, and the large one in another stitch pattern. And they are all super cute sitting, yeah, like Mary Poppins pulling things out of her. That's funny. So you could fill these with gifts and sell and give them all next to each other, or you could give them already nested with only gifts in the middle one, so that to suggest to them that they could actually fill the other ones too. So a bunch of different ways you could do that, and using 3 different colors of yarn or 1 or 2 different colors of yarn, you could do that in any number of ways. So here are some of the bags. I don't believe I have all of them, but I have a few. This is one of the crochet bags, and this case does actually fit glasses very well. You could also line this, but here's what it looks like with something inside. You could put a hank of yarn in there. That's how I photographed it for the book. That would be a fun way to give a gift as well.
She's the only one that has bacon, so then it's like, I had to go back to the oh no, we have a chemotherapy back. She said, I had to go there and do that. And then it's kind of like, if it were ever a problem, I'm fixing all these other problems. And then if I'm supposed to be doing this, then people are like, why did this get done?
So
it's kind of like, because this,
you can see how it would look filled with yarn to make a little special yarn gift. So cute. But if you lined it, you could use it for a cell phone case or a sunglasses case. So there's lots of different ways you could use it lined or unlined. Here is another one that would be a good candidate for lined or unlined. You might need to put something in it so you can see the stitch pattern. Here, I'll just fill it with the other things in my lap, if you can see the stitch pattern better. So this is motifs.
Yeah, exactly. No, I understand you.
And it has the drawstring and little tassels on each end of the drawstrings. It would be really great lined. I think it would be really adorable lined in bandanas also. Or you could line it in any fabric. You could line it in the same color fabric or in a contrast color. And again, give it as the gift itself, or give it filled with gifts. Be a great beach bag for sure. It would be a great bag for putting things, for keeping things safe inside a bigger bag too. No, that one is Be So Fresh yarn, which is my linen yarn, but you could also do that in Be So Sporty or Be So Fine. You could do this type of project in any of my yarns. This one was also in Be So Fresh yarn. This is in color Sand Dollar, and this is in color foam. And here's one of the knit bag patterns. This is done in Be So Serene yarn, and it's in a beautiful lace stitch pattern. Isn't that pretty? And I just thought it was a fun way to dress up a market bag by doing it in a knit lace pattern. So you could fill this with tons of stuff, and the whole thing works seamlessly, so you don't need to sew the straps on. They're worked into the bag itself, and then at the bottom you just cinch it up in the bottom, and it's done in one piece. Super pretty. Again, great as a gift on its own or as a component to another gift. And here's another one of the drawstring bags. This one is knit, and this also holds glasses. You can see you can put your knitting glasses, your reading glasses, or your sunglasses right in there. This one's done in Be So Brave yarn. This is another fun textured stitch pattern. The little eyelet cord drawstring, and great way to protect your glasses or gift something. You could give someone a pair of sunglasses in here, or reading glasses, or anything. You could put double pointed needles in there. You could put crochet hooks in there. Anything. So adorable. It's such an adorable size. Melissa would love a tutorial for the real bag. I'm not sure what you mean by real bag. You mean the bigger bag? And you mean video tutorial? Because there is a tutorial. It's the patterns in the book. Maybe you mean video tutorial. And then here are the cowls. This is a crochet cowl. And it's a nice smaller size that just real easy to fit. Fits really nice on, and good for anybody. Some people, I think that this is one of the more universal sizes that could be great as a gift for most people. I think when you go with the bigger and chunkier ones, there are some people that can pull off that look and some people that maybe don't feel confident pulling off that look. But this is a size that I think is universally welcomed and worn by most people. So if you're not sure of the style of the person you're gifting a cowl to, I think this is a size that is very universally accepted. So we did one in knit and crochet. The crochet one is in Be So Sporty yarn. And then the knit one is done in Be So Tender yarn. And it's, again, it's that simple size that I think is just perfect for most people. Very cozy. And you know, pick a color that you either think that person wears a lot or something that reminds them of you. Video tutorial for turquoise bag. I'm guessing you mean this green one. Maybe it's coming up turquoise in the on the camera. Okay. Noted. Thanks, Grace. I actually love basket weave so much. I love, especially on textured yarn like Be So Tender. It's a textured yarn to begin with, so that contrast of simple stitches next to each other, the stockinette to the reverse stockinette, is just so beautiful in its simplicity. Yeah, Sherry, these are really good size cowls if you're not sure of the style of the person you're making it for. The purple is pretty. It's called Passionate Plum in Be So Sporty yarn. Oh, great, Melissa. Yep, I think we figured it out. Perfect.
My son was, his birthday's Friday. My daughter's having a surprise. I don't have a gift. I don't have nothing to give. So that, you know, that brings me my head going around. And that's when I get my that's so then he noticed it yesterday. He told me, Mom,
Okay, I have a couple more things here. A couple more of the cards, and like I talked about yesterday with the section of the handmade cards, is not only is making handmade cards a great gift in itself to write a handmade note, but what about making a set of gift cards to give the cards as a gift? And that's what I thought was really taking the handwritten card love to the next level. So what I did was incorporate some knitting and crochet and some other crafts to decorate these cards, and you could do that in 100 different ways. Moose gal, yes, these are projects from my book. What do I have for knitted items? I've shown quite a few knitted items. I've just been grabbing from my bag and showing you them. Some of them are knit, some are crochet. There's 80 projects in the book. And I'd say just about half of what I've shown today has been knit. So you could go back and watch the recording and get to see all of them that I've shown. So there's 80 projects in the book. Roughly a quarter of them are food recipes, a quarter are crochet, quarter are knitting, and the last chapter includes sewing and paper crafts. Yeah, that would be a great idea. So here's one where I show you how to make a crochet motif and join that to a card. I'm missing the card that has the knit flower on it, but I wanted to show you I did make several of the knit flowers for that card. How cute would they be as earrings? Super adorable, right? Or you could add a pearl bead to it for earrings or for the card. And so here's what you would glue down onto the card. I have this one done, but just not right here with me. So even as a set, some of them knit flowers and some are crocheted flowers. You could make them in the same color or assorted colors or change the cardstock. Hi Barbara, I've probably sent you an email. In fact, your name sounds familiar that I've already sent you an email and gifted you the ebook on Ravelry. You'll have to check your email or check your Ravelry account. So what you'll need to do, or if you have problems, please email me because I can't really help with that in a live video, but I can help in email. So just email me. So you could change the colors of the yarn, you could change the colors of the cards, you could change so many different things or make them all the same. What if you did a whole set with white flowers and blue cards? I mean, there's so many different ways. Ah, Moose Gal, you're wearing the same color. I think it's an OPI. I think it's called Miami Beat. But I know it's similar to Miami Beat or something like that, but it is a great fall color, isn't it? So then one of the other things I teach in the book is how to do heat emboss stamping. And this is so gorgeous, I can't even stand it. Hi Sandra, thanks for joining. So it's a way of stamping this powder and heating it up to create this raised finish. It is so gorgeous. Oh, I'm so glad, Lily. I hope you enjoy it. Can you see that it's raised? You can certainly see that it's metallic. I went with a gold on this one. It looks so fancy and so expensive, and it doesn't take long to make at all. It's a couple of tools, but not much. That's the other thing I wanted to mention about my book. There aren't a ton of fancy tools or fancy things that you need to make these crafts. Most of them are done in pretty simple tools. And I think the heat gun that you need for this is probably the most expensive extra tool you need for the entire book. So anyway, back at it. These are not difficult to do at all. They are very easy. So you'll want to buy different kinds of stamps. Oh, Kimberly, you have an embossing tool already. Wonderful. This will be so easy for you. So then you can buy different stamps. This was a stamp that I thought looked so much like motifs, knitting crochet motifs. And so I put them next to each other for that style. I did it on this one too. And I'll be sharing my resources for all of these stamps in the pages that I'm putting on my website, and they're also in my Amazon shop already. So you could do a whole set. Okay, if you just wanted to go with the gold embossing stamp, you could do that all on the same color paper. Or you could change the paper color and still keep everything gold. Or you could change the color of the stamp and keep all the paper the same. So you see where I'm going with that? You could change this up in so many different ways to make assorted cards or make identical cards. Christmas cards would be great too. I like keeping cards on hand for birthday cards. That's another fun thing to do, is have a bunch of these made in advance so that you can send birthday cards. Then the last set of cards I was going to show you today, that particular stamp is gold, but there is a beautiful silver that you can get as well, and there's beautiful colors as well. This is a punching, paper punching. So you can buy punches that'll do a lace on the edge of paper, and so I've just lined this with another color. You can punch out words, you can punch out designs, and make whole sets of cards like this. And so I'm showing them in a variety of colors. You could make a set like that in many different colors. I make these. This is one of the cards that I like to make in advance to give as gifts. So I always keep these on, that's why I have so many. I keep these on hand when I need to write a handmade note to somebody. This is what I send. But now I've got so many other types that I'm making that I have tons of choices now too. But in the past, that's been one that I made a ton of a couple years ago, and I just pull one every time I need to write a handmade note. So that's great to give for yourself, or as a thought process if you know a friend who would love that. Yep, let's pull the pouch. That's a great idea. What if you put your handmade note cards as the gift in a pouch? Look at how nicely those fit in there. We'll grab an embossed one and the crochet one. There you go. You could put a whole set of them in there. I'm stuck on something. I'm stuck on the crochet motif. There you go. So there's a double handmade gift. The pouch with the cards in it. Hi Carrie, thanks for joining live. All right, well we've got a few more things down here. So thanks for your patience and staying. This has gone super long today, but as long as you want to stay and I've still got stuff to show, we may as well keep going. So I've got a bunch of, thank you Grace, I appreciate it so much. Grace is one of the people that helped me edit this book, so it's thanks to Grace that it's a great book too. Thank you. So here are some of the washcloth patterns, and I also redesigned a couple of these into trivets, but just wanted to show you that they could be a beautiful set of washcloths as well. So I think it's these two that I redid into trivets so that they're done in Be So Brave yarn and felted, but the rest of these are done in Be So Bare for washcloths. Thank you, Grace. And then I made a knit one as well. And this stitch pattern is so fun. So you can, so it's done in ribbing for the vertical stripes and welting for the horizontal stripes. And how cool is that design when it's done? So imagine doing that as an overall pattern for a sweater or a baby blanket. I see a baby blanket in my future with squares of this because I love all, yes, Lisa, thank you to both KB, Karen, and Grace for being amazing editors. And those of you who know Judy, she is here sometimes as well. She was my third editor, and they all did a fantastic job on the editing. Cannot write a book without editors, that's for sure. Nobody can edit their own work. It's just, it's a block in the human brain. You need editors. So I'm missing one of the washcloths, but I think you can get an idea from these that they would make a great assorted gift. Add a sugar scrub, add a some organic bars of soap, add something else homemade, put them into a basket, put them into a bag, give them with, you know, any number of store-bought or other handmade items, or wrap things in them. You could wrap an organic bar of soap in there and then fold it all up and tie it with a ribbon. There's a bunch of different ways you could not just give these as a gift on their own, but tie them in with another gift. The bath bombs, absolutely. Absolutely. Looks like I've got one more here with me, and that is one of the drawstring bags. They're sewn. This is a flat bottom drawstring bag that would be great for a project bag or a travel bag, and it's fully lined in a second print and with drawstring closure. Not difficult to make at all. You could whip these up in no time to make a bunch of gifts. You could teach people how to do this all sorts of different ways, and you could do it in different sizes as well. Does anybody have any other questions? It's loud out here today. It's what happens when you do live streams in public. You can't control it. This is the book that everything that I've talked about is from. 80 handmade gifts, 80 projects to make knit, crochet, cooking, sewing, paper craft gifts to give all year round, not just at the holidays. If you have any questions, that is, you can always email me or leave comments here in the video. It is available for pre-order on my website right now. And during the pre-order, use yarn for the drawstring. I don't know what you mean, Sherry. I guess you mean the ribbon here. Sure, you could use yarn instead. Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. The book is available for pre-order on my website, and during the pre-order, I'm giving the ebook for free to anybody who pre-orders on my website. Otherwise, you can download the ebook on Ravelry. You can order the book, the printed book, on my website, and very soon it will be available on Amazon worldwide as well. Again, if you have any questions about that, please feel welcome to email me or leave a comment on this video. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day today to spend an hour with me going over a bunch of the projects from 80 Handmade Gifts. I hope I helped you understand how they're made or different ways that you could gift these items, and hopefully we can brainstorm more ways to make more handmade gifts for the holidays and all year round. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.